So, Chris, what is going on with Performance Max campaigns in Google Ads? It feels like they were kind of introduced a while ago at this point, but that, at least for me, all of a sudden in the last month, I started using them more and more, and I think they've added more and more features. So I'm hearing more and
Yeah.
more about them. What's kind of been your experience with Performance Max so far?
So, first of all, I'll say that Jason, people are still people. And what amazes me is that this very powerful tool is still done wrong, which is amazing to me. I look at accounts, I do a lot of audits and consulting and training, and so I see a lot of these Performance Max, and I look, and we're going to get into some of the details, but the amount of magic that sometimes happens with these accounts, the amount of the simplicity of it does not mean that you don't need to listen to the details that we're going to talk about, because there's still a lot of ways to mess it up and get it wrong. Because I look at these accounts and I see this person didn't even look at the most basic standards of what you need to put in, the amount of little bit of effort that you need to put in to build this, compared to what you need to do, for everything else in Google Ads. They didn't put that in. So I definitely I want to say that up front, that it's still important that you get this right and that you understand the details and what it is and what it's not. Now, as far as what it is for me, I've had I can't say I have mixed feelings. We're several months in of using Performance Max for my clients, and I have never seen a Performance Max not perform.
That's a
But
strong, Chris.
yeah,
That's a strong statement.
yeah.
Like, that is an impressive statement because we all know smart campaigns, discover campaigns. Like, there's been a lot of different kind of
Mm-hmm.
like automated ish campaigns or campaign types they've rolled out in recent years. And I think it's fair to say when we looked at those, you and I, and we compared those to our skill set in creating campaigns from scratch, they just didn't seem to be
Yeah.
attractive compared to what we knew we could do creating things ourselves, because many times they didn't perform.
Yeah.
But for you to say that the new version of all that automated campaign work that they've done, which they've basically rolled into Performance Max now, for you to say you've never not seen one perform at least good or at least have potential from there, that's a really strong statement. And I
Yeah.
think that's what I've been seeing as well. I just want to point that out. That says it all.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I put a period at the end of it, because in reality, I have yet to see one not perform well. The other side of the coin is that at times it seems a bit too fueled on reoccurring, returning brand, whatever you want to label it.
Okay.
It might be a mix of those. Sometimes I'm concerned about how much of that is the returning traffic and the brand traffic
Well,
and remarketing and stuff like that.
let me just throw this out there. We're not going to be talking about this specific setting today, but there is a setting they recently rolled out where you can choose to target only new customers and
Mm-hmm.
train it to do that. So the nice thing about Performance Max is they seem to be listening. They seem to be watching the users, kind of learning what people like and what they need. And I really like Performance Max. And one thing I like about it compared to the old version of automated stuff is they rolled it out early, I feel like, and they rolled it out raw, and we're kind of using it. And just like you said, you're worried about existing customers versus new. And now there's ways they've added on
Yeah.
where we can not target or we can optimize for new customers. So they're constantly rolling out more options and more data with Performance Max as well, which is really helping. So that can probably alleviate that concern.
Yeah. And rumors of negative keywords coming for it at
Hmm.
some point in the future, which is pretty cool. I would be much more enthusiastic with some ability to do some blocking of certain types of traffic. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I guess we're in the same boat, which is we're both seeing a lot of potential with it, and we're both very intrigued by it, and we're both seeing the contrast of our own reaction to it versus previous versions of
Yeah.
automated campaigns. And before we move on to defining it and getting into the details here, let's just take a minute, and whoever created this at Google or at Alphabet, they need some stock options. Whoever created the name Performance Max, because one thing I try to do in life, Chris, in business, is to just be absolutely undeniable and to be so good that people just have to want to work with me and be my podcast partner, even though I have some foul moods every now and then, and they come back next week and they're still here because I'm undeniable. And
I'm married,
I appreciate
so
you, Chris.
I'm used to the ups and downs, Jason. You know, just like any other woman out there.
Yeah. Well, I think in my household, it's she'd probably say the opposite. And you know what marriage is really all about? And that's basically what 10% of the show is for anyone that's new, is it's 90%. Well, no way the other 90% is only Google ads, but it's a huge percentage Google ads. Maybe that should be the tagline of our show now. Paid Search Podcast, a huge
Mostly
percentage
Google
talked
ads.
about, mostly Google ads. But definitely 10% of the show is allocated to how to survive, how to have a good marriage, how to have a thriving marriage. And I think what it is, Chris, it's all about, like, sometimes you're having a rough time, sometimes she's having a rough time. It's all about matching that energy and being accepting. And I think there's something we said about that in the vows to always be there.
At the end of the show, I don't want to say it now. At the end of the show, stick around, guys, because Jason, I'll tell you a story of exactly that balancing of the energy that happened today with my wife. Today.
Because I saw her before the show. She looked to be doing okay. So
great mood. Yeah, you saw it. Yeah,
she was joking around with you. Yeah,
yeah. And I'll tell you how the day started and how it's going.
Well, whoever created this at Google, I can guarantee if they're married, they're going to have an amazing marriage because they're a genius and they'll figure out anything, because this name is undeniable, Chris. This name is so good. This name, when they first rolled out Performance Max, I think a lot of us were like, all right, another smart thing or whatever. And the name, it's almost like the name carried it to success, because it was freaking just like Max Conversions is. And if that's the same person, not only do they need stock options, they just need to be on the board of the company, because that is amazing branding, Performance Max. But that's truly what it is. So